Heart failure. This is the fate of patients with muscular dystrophy. There is no cure, no viable treatment, and no successful outcome. Similar to Duchenne muscular dystrophy, spinal muscular atrophy or SMA is a neuromuscular disease that is genetically inherited and is caused by a mutation in the survival motor neuron gene. Like DMD, patients with spinal muscular atrophy develop muscle weakness, delayed gross motor skills, scoliosis, and eventually these accumulations can be deadly. Nevertheless, given that both DMD and SMA progressively develop throughout a child's lifetime, our group wanted to shed light on a less severe yet still impactful form of muscular dystrophy. Throughout this interview, we aim to highlight two different perspectives on living with SMA. One of that being the long-term caregiver, and one of that being the patient itself. We showcase here not only the implications of living with SMA, but also how external factors such as finances and the COVID-19 pandemic has affected their lives. And so, we hope you enjoy our interview with Ben Lowe and Jenny Huan and their fight against SMA.
My name is Ben. I'm an MIT freshman interested in math, physics, and philosophy. I also have the rare disease spinal muscular atrophy, which causes full body weakness and makes me reliant on my caregiver, basically my mom, for daily tasks of living.
We kind of find he has a SMA a little late, partly because his pediatrician probably doesn't know this rare disease a lot more because it's rare. It's 0.01% or less. When the kids didn't grow stronger and then they lose the function bit by bit, you know there's something wrong. He didn't kick. Like usually kids in mom's tummy, they will kick, but he doesn't. The wonderful sign, he has a really, really weak type. For his 2 or 3 months, his throat is just like have some mucus. His chest is congested. But his pediatrician doubted that he might have some allergy, type of allergy. So we did a chat test. So see what kind of allergies he has. But we can't get any result. He's 6 months. Kids, they usually, if you hold them from here, and their leg will bear the weight, like at least they will use the leg to do, but Ben is just lower down. He doesn't have the muscle at all. So which means he started to degenerate as early as 6 months, even earlier. You can barely develop your motor neuron system. Muscle doesn't receive any stimulate from the hands. They test the hands. He only have a 10% neural development, which means it doesn't sprout out. He can't sit at all. It's just like a noodle. You put him on a table or any service, he's just like falling around. At this stage, you can tell by 8 months from all the clinic symptoms, they can tell he has SMA, confirmed by electronic conductivity test and also gene test, confirmed that Ben has a SMA. Like you never hear about these things. And even the neurologist, there's a top neurologist in Rady Children's Hospital. He said, okay, we don't offer condonance, but there are some kids with Ben's situation does live into adulthood, which means we don't have a very high confidence that Ben can live into adulthood. For anyone, it's hard to accept it. For parents, they have a good dream for their children. They have all the plan, but the dream are smashed up. So we pretty much like cry in doctor's office and then cry back home. So it's just like the end of the world. Before Ben's 10-year-old, Ben will spend maybe 90% on his health, therapy needs. Of course, for the daily routine, like go to bathroom, eat, all those things take a much longer time. Like for Ben's, take a shower. You don't know. We got to set up a massage bed, it's bad. So put him over there, take off the clothes. And because right now we still haven't do the remodel to our home. In the beginning, you feel it's so expensive. You know, with this kind of disease, it's just like you are dealing with the very scared with Saul's situation. So we take off, and then he's just scrambling in our shower room, which is a little bigger than his room. So my husband will put all the shower chair, special shower chair. It's unlike the shower chair you can have a sit. It's very complicated one, more sophisticated, more support, and then carry Ben in. It's hard because Ben now is very tall, and we have a narrow space, and it might break Ben's bone for eating. So we pretty much use the divide and conquer. It's like I will cook in the morning, most probably for a whole day. Ben few bites here and there, will never get a chance. So he doesn't have to sit in one place, maybe eat 1 hour and still didn't feel full. Doing the massage, I do that because we know if bring Ben out, that's also tedious. I trying to learn everything, even though I probably won't do as good as the real specialist, but I can do all sorts of things. I combine them, and also I can do more frequently. So to make up what I don't have the specialist, and also I'm open mind, trying to study, learn anything. Just like I will tell Ben, like we need to like a octopus. You have 8 times things, and then you learn, trying to learn every good thing and to incorporate in your daily life to deal with the challenge. So for me, I have to adjust my schedule according to his schedule because he has a severe disease. The disease is progress. If you work too hard, it will just progress fast. So I will separate my, like whenever I get a chance, do 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and the break often. And don't sit too long or don't lay down. Trying to add therapy units to the, whenever we can. And then in the nighttime, we will focus on spa, massage, and the acupuncture, which I did. We see the result. So for us, we can't fight the SMA, but we can make his general health better.
My day's routine looks like, so I wake up, drink some water, get started, and then I stand up in my chair, and then while I'm standing there, I do work, and then I sort of sit down and stand up again, sit down, and then I get down onto the massage table, and I continue to do work. But I also eat some food, and sometimes I take a break. And then, yeah, so I try to change my positions, like not work too long straight. Currently, I'm focusing very much on my studying because I'm virtual at home. So what else is there to do? So yeah, good to take advantage of that. So yeah, so that's my day. Not really. I was always homeschooled, so if anything, more people on Zoom was beneficial for me. The things that other people were affected by the transition to virtual, for example, I had always been there, so I had always been experiencing those things.
Yeah, for Ben, he probably didn't feel the pandemic. For me, I do, because previously I already noticed, because my age, my body, so I have to sometimes go out to get some therapy because of, and also I start go to the gym. I see the benefit and helps me, all the symptoms. But then after pandemic, of course, you are probably more skillful than normal families, because we know Ben is weak, like health-wise. I didn't go out at all, and also have a much higher anxiety than normal. As time goes by, you don't have the confidence that the pandemic is going to be over, and my mood is really bad. I try different supplement. I try different way. I still cannot get out of it. And then the last year, I started to say, I got to do some yoga to just temporarily forget what we are facing. Mental health is also not good. I was concerned. I know what we are facing. And this year, I can see some light from the tunnel, long tunnel. I have to be strong to be Ben's support. We are very satisfied with what we have right now, because you can ask the people come to your home to do all the work. It's just something you have to do 70, 80%. And for the society help, we recent years, we have a nurse come, which is great help. And our nurse, Ben has two nurses, they take turns. One nurse work for 2 nights and another nurse work for 5 nights. That way, I can get some sleep, especially for my age. Sleeping is normally an issue. So that's the best help we can ask for. And for Ben's nursing service, we got to fight 7, 8 months. It's terrible, it's emotional. You need help, and you know your kids deserve this, but they don't. Now we feel we are lucky, at least for this 2 or 3 years after all this fight. Everything seems more supportive.
We're pretty grateful about the help we're getting. I'm getting both of the drugs currently approved. So the first drug is Spinraza. I started it in I think it was the end of 2019. Yeah.
December 26th.
Yeah, end of 2019. And it is a drug that you inject into the cerebrospinal fluid. And you do the injection. In the beginning, it's more often, and then afterwards, it's 3 times a year. And it is supposed to help make the backup gene work better. That is Spinraza. And then for Risdiplam is the other drug. It's oral. And I've started it very recently, last year.
June 2020.
Yeah, middle of last year. And I take it every day. And it is supposed to do a similar thing to Spinraza. But it's an oral version, yeah. And the mechanism is slightly different, so we're hoping that the 2 drugs combined will do. That's pretty lucky. I'm very grateful for that. That's really expensive. So, and most people don't get both. There have been times where some people weren't as accommodating, but then there were others that were accommodating that we found. So yeah, we're grateful for those people.
Oh, he also tried different things, because a lot of idea I will learn from the nature, because nature have billions accumulate those intelligence. You can see the nature. So we will try, when he gets sick, we will do massage, acupuncture, sleep, drink water, those kind of things, rest. And if that doesn't work, we will start some herb. So we have a few set of herb to combat it. We know it works because he hasn't been hospitalized or get any pneumonia for his lifetime.
Just to clarify one thing, it's not that I haven't been in the hospital my whole life. I certainly have been in the hospital. I just haven't been in the hospital for the last couple of years.
You had the hospital because of surgery, 2030. That's the last time you were hospitalized, because the spinal fusion surgery. They fuse Ben's spine all together and then put the 2 Titanic beside. So, and then after you hasn't been hospitalized.
Yeah, so it's been a while, and that's a good thing. Before then, I was getting sick, but I was also going to school a few hours a day. So I did come to school 1 more year, but afterwards I was totally homeschooled, which certainly helps not getting sick.
As we can see through this interview, SMA is a disease that negatively affects both the lives of those living through it as well as their loved ones. Many accommodations are needed to sufficiently care for those in need, and different alternatives must be done to effectively provide for the issues that may come up. With the COVID-19 pandemic, the toll it has taken on both the patient and caregiver must not be overlooked, as access to certain health facilities or treatments may be delayed or even stopped. Finances and access to healthcare also play a role in whether or not treatment would be even possible. And even with the negative prognosis to SMA patients, as Ben mentioned, he has been able to take full advantage of the 2 FDA-approved drugs, which are Spinraza and Risdiplam. Spinraza is designed to specifically treat the underlying defects in SMA, with the hopes of slowing or stopping the progression of SMA, and perhaps even reversing some of the symptoms as shown in patients with SMA. Risdiplam, on the other hand, works by increasing levels of the survival motor neuron protein through the enhancement and production of the SMN2 backup gene. Ultimately, this story is just one example and one case out of 2,500 in the United States. Every patient and their families have a unique and different story to tell, and this interview is only able to highlight just one of them. Considering that the incidence rate of SMA is around 1 in 10,000 live births, being able to better understand and treat a disease that severely impacts the quality of life of both the patient and the caregiver, we believe should be the utmost priority of society. To conclude, muscular diseases are known to be progressive and fatal, which is ultimately why we should use the resources we have to develop better treatments for those affected, as unlike many other diseases out there, these results in only one outcome: death.